India's laws are notoriously archaic, and for good reason. They were drawn up by the British over 2 centuries that they ruled over India. But now, India is changing. Last December, India replaced 3 of the most important criminal laws with 3 new laws. Now, these laws will be gradually rolled out over the year. But what are the challenges to implementing these new laws? And joining me to discuss this are Mr. Vikas Singh, Dr. Rajiv Nanda, and my colleagues Ashok Bagariya and Nivriti Mohan. Welcome to the News9 Plus Show. Mr. Singh, why was it necessary to update these criminal laws like the government did just last year?
Well, these laws were drafted more than a century ago, and it was high time that we adapted these laws to the changing situation and to our current, expectations. And there were many provisions which could not be justified in today's day and time. And accordingly, there was a need to completely come out with a new law so that it is a law made by us after independence, looking at our experience of 75 years of independence and seeing the challenges that we faced in these 75 years, and also to ensure that these laws, are an instrument of change as far as upgradation of the legal system is concerned.
Right. Upgradation of the legal system, Ashok. Some of these laws are centuries old, dating back from the 19th century. What do you think are going to be the challenges in implementing them, these new sets of criminal laws?
Well, there are going to be challenges at multiple levels. Now, if we look at the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, which replaces the Indian Penal Code, what it basically does is it does away with the old IPC.
Right.
That is the IPC regime, which has been in place since 1860. The police officers in this country have worked around the Indian Penal Code and the offences written into the Indian Penal Code. Now we have the Criminal Procedure Code, 1973. This is basically a procedure which has been spelt out as to how the trial should be conducted, how various processes around the crimes and the criminal activities will have to be carried out by the state or the state actors. That has changed. The third important limb of this whole criminal delivery system in this country is the Indian Evidence Act. Again, this has also been replaced by a new evidence law.
Right.
So once this overhauling of the 3 important limbs happens, you will require a lot of readjustments, not only on the parts of the people who are responsible for implementing law and order in the country, which are the cops, the executive magistrates, but also the judiciary.
Yes.
The judiciary, which is called on to enforce those laws or implement them, how they are going to interpret those laws or the new provisos which have been introduced, that will be a challenge, and how, more importantly, the lawyers also adapt to this law.
Lawyers also adapt to the law. And Nivriti, in fact, you've put together a documentary on this. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, but first, the elephant in the room, while the laws have been changed, they've been upgraded, overhauled, as Mr. Singh said, a new law for a new Bharat, a century after many of these laws came in. The elephant in the room remains police reform. Till the time the police aren't reformed, they won't be able to kind of utilize these laws to the benefit of the people. Why do you think police reforms not taken place until now?
That you should ask the government. Why the police reforms have not been made? We are what has been done, ostensibly showing that some change has been brought in. Police reforms are certainly required, but why they are not done, that the government has to answer. Why they are not done? They are badly required, and without the police reforms, all these things will be, whether in the old form or in the new form, will be not effectively in a position to be implemented. So police reforms are required and they should be done, but why they are not done, I have absolutely no idea as to why the government is not insisting and taking steps
Right.
for bringing in the required, the much required, all these things. These Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita,
Nyaya Sanhita.
Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha, Bharatiya Sakshya, all that. These are all replacing the laws which were more than a century ago brought in by Britishers. And what has been brought in is not only the cover page has been changed, cosmetic changes have been done with adapting to the Indian conditions, and they were all required, like for sedition and all that. The powers of police for detention and all these kind of things have been brought in. But all that said and done, things will not be in a right position moving, because till the time police reforms are not there, all this is meaningless.
Right, absolutely. Important point there. Nivriti, police reforms haven't taken place. What's the reason why? There's a Prakash Singh committee, there's a judgment from the Supreme Court, 1996. It's going to be, what, 3 decades in a couple of years?
Actually, you are right in saying this, and I was talking to the experts also when I was doing this story. So they were telling that all the reforms, all the police powers of the police have been enhanced, and there is a possibility of these powers being misused by the state, be it the center, be it the state government, and also the police personnel can misuse that power given to them. So unless and until police reforms are not done, giving such powers to police is like giving powers to an individual, giving powers to the government, and government can act the way it wants to act through the police. So until and unless police reforms are not there, there is no meaning of introducing, giving such powers to police.
Mr. Singh, this point that Nivriti made, the other panelists have said it as well. Till the time police reforms don't actually take place, many of these laws are really meaningless. Do you agree with that?
So I had made this point in my detailed interview with Nivriti that police reforms are necessary, and the reason why they are not being done is because no state government is wanting to give up the power and control over the policing authority. So every state government feels, and with the result that what is happening is that if there are different political parties in different states, you will find crisscross cases happening now. BJP, getting cases registered in non-BJP states, and non-BJP states registering, or similarly in BJP states, cases being registered against people who are non-BJP. So all that is going to, only make the situation more murky, and only damage the criminal justice system rather than, improve the criminal justice system. I personally feel that the kind of powers that have been given now to the police, although sedition has been taken away, but the power which has been given to the police to decide what kind of things are anti-national is something which is like a draconian power, and it will result in state, fixing up people whom they feel are simply talking things which are uncomfortable to the state. So they will pick up people, journalists will be picked up, people who are on social media will be picked up, and they will all suffer harassment at the police, because the idea of free speech always has been, and this is what we have actually incorporated in our constitution, what was the first amendment in the US Constitution, that you should be, everybody should be able to say, in fact, very rightly, the US Supreme Court has said that the obnoxious branches should not be pruned, and they should be allowed to grow, because that's how a democracy is to be perceived.
News9 Plus. Download now.